Hello, I hope today has been kind to you. I have just found 5 minutes to voice over this video, so I'm really excited to share with you how I decorated this little mini book. If you haven't already seen the tutorial for the mini book, I will link it down below for you. I am using the Nelly and Clem Self-Care Sunday kit. I will have that link down below for you as well. And I'm basically just going through all of my favourite bits from this kit and adding them onto the album. So I know I want this Project Life card, the one that said Self-Care Sunday on it, on the front cover. And I also know that I absolutely love this nail polish paper. So I have decided to put the card onto the nail polish paper. Just working out the sizing there. I want to leave a slight pink border. So I'm trimming it and then trimming it again, working out the perfect size. There we go. And then I'm trimming down the card. I think this ended up being, I want to say 3 by 3. Did I trim the edges? Yes. So it wasn't 3 by 3. Started off 3 by 3. I think I took 1/4 of an inch off of each side, so it would be 3 by 2.5. Then I disappear quickly to stitch these. I stitch the border on the nail polish piece, and I stitch across the word Sunday because I decided that I wanted to say self-care every day. So rather than crossing it out with a pen, I decided to cross it out with some stitching, which I will show you shortly. Obviously trying to get some vellum in there. I love how vellum looks. I do end up adding some on after the stitching. So there's my stitching all done. I've gone across the Sunday twice. I've got some baby pink thread in my sewing machine, so that's what I've used. I was planning to write every day with my white biro. I think it's a Uniball pen. It was recommended by Inky Quill, and it usually works fabulously, but today it just wasn't showing up. I think that pink is too pale. So I go over it with a black pen and I hate it. I really don't like how it looks. It doesn't, you can't see it very well in this clip, but it hasn't written properly. It's sort of got stuck on some of the white ink so that you can see some of the white and some of the black, and I wasn't impressed. So I've got these teeny tiny alphas in my stash from ages ago, literally years ago, and I'm trying to use those to cover up the written words. They aren't quite, they're big enough, they're not quite spacing right to cover the words already there. So I make this little banner piece from some lilac scraps that I have on my desk, and I decide to just stick that down over the word, and then I can space out my letters the way I want them. Really, I should have put this foam tape on the lilac piece because I end up having to peel it up and move the foam, but it doesn't matter too much. I'm always pulling things up. That's nothing new for me. I've got that little lilac piece on a slight slant there, and then just adding on each of my little letters, skipping forward because you don't want to watch me add those one by one. Skipped right over that for you. Now I am adding some vellum behind this piece. I think I end up adding 2 layers of vellum. And rather than cut off those threads, I sort of loop them round and attach them to the back. So you can still see them at the front. They sort of look like a messy, scruffy, what would you usually do? Usually just messy thread, I guess. Like you would create behind an embellishment. I don't know what I'm trying to, how I'm trying to explain that. You know, when you would just wrap it around your fingers a few times and sort of stick it on as a layer. I used to do that all the time. So I'm sort of trying to create that effect with what's left over there. Adding that onto the front of my book. I'm just using double-sided tape for all of this. This isn't a particularly what word am I looking for? It's not a particularly special project, I guess. It's something fun for me to create rather than something that needs to be kept intact for a very long time. Looking at this polka dot paper, or tissue paper rather, and I love it. So I want to use this little sort of cut up or torn edge down the bottom here. So I tear the top corner as well so that it matches, and then I cut around the edge. You'll see that in just a second. Sorry, I'm out of frame there for a moment. There you go. You can see that it's torn on the right corner and the left corner. Makes it look a bit more symmetrical. Adding some foam pads on the back of there, and then just sticking that onto the front. I do love to add dimension to my projects. And I'm pleased I used up some of that tissue paper because that has been on my desk for ages. Absolutely ages. I love it, but I don't often use it for layering. I don't know why. Maybe because it's patterned, I tend to go for the plainer ones. I've got the rest of the 3x4 cards on my desk. So I go through trying to find a place for a few of those. I use the, I think it says self-care looks like, or self-care for me looks like. Something like that. When I close the book, I'll be able to read it for you. Self-care can look like. There you go. And I've put that in the first pocket. I think about having the put your feet up in the back pocket, but I don't. It's a bit big for that slot. Then I use this cat. I sort of put him at the back, and I love how he looks peeking out. The cat in the little bubble bath. So I add that onto this back page, and then I end up trimming it in half so that it doesn't poke out too much. And then, I don't think I show it in the video, but I think I have some pictures where I just cover it at the back. No, I do show it in the video because I add some trim and that covers the little extra piece quite nicely. So you'll see that later on. I really want things to poke out of the edge. Because this is a staggered album, it's the perfect opportunity to have little bits of ephemera and all the pretty goodies sort of peeking out from each page. But I don't want to add too much because I don't know how I'm decorating the pages inside yet. So I want just little bits of pretty that I can add, that I can use for whatever I want on each page. So trying to make them not too themed, if that makes sense. Just playing around with all of the bits and pieces. So I hand cut these, but Nelly and Clem do offer PNG files. So if you have a silhouette or a cricket, you can have that cut it for you. I am definitely going to give that a go on my Cameo soon. I just really wanted to play with this kit. So I printed the page and I sat and snipped it out while I was watching some TV. And now I am adding it into this little book. But the PNGs are a massive bonus for anybody who doesn't love fussy cutting and has one of the electronic machines. I really like this little plate of biscuits, and I decide to add it onto the front page where I've put it, but I don't stick it down to the page it's flat onto. I stick it to the front one, so that when you open the front page, it moves with it. You can probably see that much better than I can explain it. But I'm just working out which biscuits I want to be visible, because obviously once I stick it down, there's a few that you won't be able to see. There we go. And then sticking that on there, a bit like a tab. So when you open that up, it's blank on the back. I use this little heart piece to cover that up. I knew I didn't want it blank, and I love this little pink heart, so perfect place to put that. And they're pretty much the same size, so I trim a tiny bit off of here, but not too much work to be done there. On to this blue page. I love this record player. I think it's so pretty. And I try and put the candles on every one of these pages, and they don't end up making it. So I think I'm going to have to add those inside because I absolutely love them. Looking through my little bowl. This nail polish ends up going in the spot that it is now, down at the bottom there. And it balances the yellow quite nicely with the record player, I think. So it ends up living down there in that little spot. I do love to paint my nails if I get time. So it's a great thing to have in my little self-care book. Working out which way round I want this little record player. I like it peeking out of the top and out of the side, but I don't love how it looks against this blue. So I grab one of the papers. I don't think this one is from Self-Care Sunday. I think this is from her Basics kit. It's white with a yellow polka dot. And I just cut that so that I can add it onto the page, cover up a bit of that blue and make the record player match a bit nicer. There we go, I think that looks much better. You definitely could have left the blue, but just personal opinion. I like it with the white and yellow as well. There we go. Then I add the record player onto some foam tape. I don't do this for any of the other pieces. I just thought it looked really sweet. A little bit higher up for this one. There we go. And it's poking out the top and the side there. I really want to use this piece. It says, what does it say? Something, Self-Care Club, I think. And I really love the sentiment, so that ends up slotting lovely under this little player here, and it means you can still see the sentiment out of the edge there, which is just perfect. Still trying to add these candles. I really want them in here somewhere. It's fine, they will make it onto a page when I decorate the inside, I'm sure. Trying to add this little glass of wine as well, but ultimately he doesn't make it either. Just flipping through the pages to show you there. I don't love how bright the yellow at the back is. I don't think it matches the kit as well as I thought it did when I first picked it. So I do go back at the end and cover it with the nail polish paper from the kit. I don't think I show you that, but it's the same one that I used on the front cover. And I've chosen a bunch of trims here. I want to add them onto the back piece. I did think about adding them onto different pages, but because I've added all of my pretty ephemera already, I don't want to cover any of that up. So I put some double-sided tape on here just to hold the trim in place so that I can hot glue it. So I think I have more double-sided tape to hold this one. This yellow one, which is from Factory Shop, if you were wondering. Then the next one I add, I believe, is the pink one. That is from Hobby Lobby. I was very lucky that I got some of that sent over to me, and I have cut that in half so that I can use it for double the projects. I have been hoarding that one. I don't use that one very often, but it matched this so perfectly. Stuck that down onto the double-sided tape, and then I go back with the hot glue gun and make sure it's really well stuck down. Trim off all the extra bits. Make sure it's laying nice and, well, not flat, ruffled. Nice and ruffled. There we go. And then finally, I think I add the mint tassel. Oh, just adding the hot glue. I'm pretty sure it's the mint tassel that I go for. Yep, flipping it over and adding some of these minty tassels. I'm really pleased that it works. You can have 5 and you don't have to snip it off in the middle of a tassel. I think that looks really odd when that happens. Often happens to me. Adding that onto the back with hot glue. And then just cutting off the excess. And then it's going to be time for all of the sparkly gem things, which, as we know, is my favourite part of every project. Every project needs sparkly gems and enamel dots. Ruffling all of my tassels to make them go the right way. There we go. I have a bunch of different enamel things. So these ones are from the range, I believe, and they're really, really old. I got them in the sale years ago. So I'm trying to use those up. I have these pearl stickers. They are Disney ones from Pound Shop. Does everyone remember when Pound Shop did, or Poundland maybe, did the Disney craft bits? Everyone went mad for those. I remember everybody looking for them in all of their stores. I managed to get quite a few different bits. They had like a Winnie the Pooh collection, didn't they? And some princess stuff. And I think maybe they had Mickey Mouse pearl stickers as well. But anyway, these are the Disney princess ones. I've added a little pearl crown to the heart above the self-care sundae. I do add one of the little shoes to the nail polish bottle, the bottom of that. And I'm just adding some of the little pearls and some little gems all over the place, absolutely everywhere. Adding all that extra sparkle everywhere that I can. Trying to use up that one white enamel dot. I like the white ones much more than the purple, if you can't tell, because they have all been used up, except that one. So I wanted to get him down on a project rather than holding on to just the one solitary enamel dot. Here's the shoe I was talking about, the high heel. Adding that onto the nail polish bottle. Messing about with the placement of some of the bigger ones. And I think I might be done with sparkly bits. Thanks so much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you have enjoyed the video. I'm just flipping through the pages here so you can have a closer look. I do end up, like I said earlier, changing that yellow paper, well, covering it rather than changing it, with this one. That's the one that I pop on there, the nail polish one. Again, thanks so much for hanging out and crafting with me, and I will be back to hang out with you again very soon. See you then. Bye.